Morning, everyone. Morning. That's great to see that great energy. I'm Steve Metruck, Executive Director for the Port of Seattle. If you couldn't tell from the giant picture of my face on the screen, it's great to be here this morning. Thank you for everyone for joining us here in Bellevue for our 2024 State of the Port presentation. It's great to see such a turnout with so many familiar faces. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are hosting this event on the indigenous land of the Coast Salish people. We are grateful to respectfully live and work as guests on these lands with the native people who call these lands home. We call this the state of the port, but actually it is the state of your port. The work of the port touches everyone in King County, the region, and practically the state, whether people know it or not. We are serious about our responsibility to deliver benefits to you, for you, and with you. Although there is a lot of positive news as we head into 2024, there continues to be a lot of uncertainty and apprehension, regionally, nationally, and globally. Globally, there is political conflict and instability, which poses very tangible threats to our trade and travel industries, and personally affects us and brings new challenges to our communities. Although its rate has lessened, inflation continues to have impacts across the broader economy, and our construction purchasing power continues to be affected. Here at the port, employees are our greatest asset. However, being an employer of choice takes more resources than ever. I'm sure that's true for many of your organizations as well. Technological advances are coming faster than ever, particularly innovations in artificial intelligence. They can make our operations safer, more sustainable, and more efficient. However, they also may become a threat, particularly in the realm of cybersecurity. In every case, we work to overcome these challenges by adapting to the environment we are in and leading the way to build the future we want and all need. Today, we want to update you on where we are and how the port is working to be adaptive in the face of constant change and leading into the future. You'll hear from each of our commissioners on their vision for how the port can better connect you to opportunity. This is the first time we've hosted our State of the Port event here in Bellevue at the Meydenbauer Center, which is a fantastic facility. I want to thank all the staff, particularly those assisting this morning and those who helped plan and prepare this event. Port employees have made all the things we're talking about today possible, and we thank them. A special thanks to Rongila Dance Company for that incredible performance. Let's give them another round of applause. We are thrilled to be here, and thrilled to be joined by many elected officials and staff representatives, and member of the Consular Association of Washington. I'd like to ask elected officials and staff representatives in the room to please wave or stand to be recognized. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you for being here this morning, for being valued partners. I'd also like to especially recognize our port commissioners, Ryan Hawkins, Sam Cho, Fred Feldman, Toshko Hasagawa, and Hamdi Mohammed. Let's give them a round of applause. I value your leadership, support, partnership, and everything you bring to the port. Successfully operating as a triple bottom line organization, one that creates opportunity, increases sustainability, and expands equity requires partnership with leaders who share a vision, and we certainly have that here at the Port of Seattle. It is also true for our partners, community members, tenants, vendors, contractors, and neighbors. Your success is our success. And 2023 was all about success. That is evident in the milestones we reached. 4 months of record-breaking passenger volumes at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. The highest single day in our airport's history for passenger volume, topping 198,000 passengers. The highest day in our international arrivals facility history. Last year, the airport served 51 million people, officially the highest year for passenger volume in 75 years of history at SEA, just below our volumes in 2019. And that's where we all forecasted we wanted to be in 2023. Our cruise terminals had their best year ever in 25 years of operating, serving 1.7 million revenue passengers in a 6-month period. Operations matter because this is where we deliver the most economic impact. The 289 cruise vessel calls meant that $900 million, it meant $900 million in local economic activity. Our port facilities are some of the largest job sites in King County because hundreds of private businesses with tens of thousands of employees help move those people and goods through our gateways. When we talk about volume, it's just not a measurement of activity, but the economic impact of that activity. Looking ahead, forecasting for 2024, we look for volumes to climb. Seattle and Washington State continue to be at the epicenter of the global economy. International travel is up 101% compared to 2019 levels, and that is before a full recovery of travel to Asia. By the end of the year, we'll have added 14 new international services since the pandemic. Last year, we welcomed new flights from WestJet, Air Tahiti Nui, and Alaska to Edmonton, Paris, and Nassau. This year, Alaska begins a new flight to Toronto, Lufthansa begins a new flight to Munich, and Delta begins a new flight to Taipei. Remember last year I said, if you go to all 3 of those, I'll give a special prize for you if somebody comes to me and has gone to all 3 of those. So we'll see who gets that first. Maybe a hearty handshake, but it won't be give the public phones and all of that. Of course, you know that not all airports have recovered international travel as quickly as SEA. This is rare and reflects the uniqueness of our region. And while we'd like to take all the credit, the truth is that airlines want to be here because of you, because of the strength and diversity of our local economy, our community, and the exceptional opportunities that Washington offers. Our community continues to attract people and grow as well. King County forecasts another 1.5 million people will live here by 2040. As your port, we have to continue to look ahead, adapt, and prepare for that future. This is important. If we fail, you will not realize the future opportunities that are possible. So, in 2024, we have the largest capital plan in our history, with plans to spend $5.2 billion over the next 5 years. The Upgrade SEA capital program makes our airport ready for the future, going higher and wider everywhere you experience congestion today, on the drives, in the ticketing lobby, at security, and starting this year in the C concourse. This is important work, and we are focused on completing these key airport projects, especially to be ready to welcome the world to Seattle in 2026 for the FIFA World Cup. On the waterfront, On the waterfront, this year we'll make improvements at Fisherman's Terminal, and we'll break ground on our long-awaited Maritime Innovation Center. This year we'll also complete and bring online a logistics center in SoDo at Terminal 106. You can see it rising up if you drive along there. And starting a new industrial project at Des Moines Creek West near the airport. And advanced planning for needed maritime industrial space at Terminal 91 in Seattle. All of these projects provide jobs and economic opportunity today while adapting to serve the future of your industry, businesses, and community for decades to come. But we do not stop at adapting for the future. We are also leading to shape the future according to our values. We all know that addressing global climate change and becoming more sustainable are the greatest challenges of our time. I'm proud to say that reducing greenhouse gas emissions and transitioning to zero-emission fuels is an area where the Port of Seattle continues to be a global leader. Here's some examples of our efforts. This year, operations will start at the second berth of Terminal 5, including the use of shore power by visiting vessels. Terminal 5 will be the first container terminal in the state of Washington to have shore power, and not just one, but 2 berths, which means that ships can run on clean electricity while in port. This project was possible because of the strong partnership with the Port of Tacoma through the Northwest Seaport Alliance. The NWSA Chief Executive Officer, John Wolf, continues to be a fantastic partner, and I want to recognize him in the success of our endeavor with the Port of Tacoma through the NWSA. Providing clean electric shore power has been a practice for even longer at our cruise terminals. This year we will celebrate 25 years of cruising in Seattle, and will commission our third berth with shore power, making us the undisputed world leader in offering clean electricity for ships while at berth. In fact, we may be the first whole port in the world to electrify 3 cruise berths. Basically, I say maybe because we are in a race with Miami, so we'll have to see how the electricity, how this works out through this year. We're pushing hard to do that. While we're pleased to lead on shore power, clean electricity at berth only decarbonizes part of a vessel's journey. So we also led on the formation of a cruise green corridor for the Pacific Northwest to Alaska to explore decarbonizing the entire cruise itinerary route. The first such effort for cruise in the world. The Green Corridor First Mover Group, which is made up of more than 14 partners in ports and cities in Alaska, British Columbia, cruise lines, and the Global Trade Association, NGOs, as well as energy leaders, is looking at the potential role of alternative maritime fuels in decarbonizing cruise. We've also partnered with the McKinney-Moeller Center, the world's premier experts on green corridors, to explore green methanol as a zero-carbon alternative to the current fossil fuels. And through our partnership with the Northwest Seaport Alliance, we are supporting a shipping-led green corridor from the West Coast to South Korea. We're moving towards our commitment to phase out emissions from our own operations by 2040, to phase out emissions at our seaport by 2050, to help all industries operating at our airport to be carbon neutral or better by 2050 as well. Many of our partners in this room are taking their own actions in supporting these efforts, and we appreciate that partnership. I do not want to sugarcoat this. We know that the transition from hydrocarbons will be hard, and there will be many challenges along the way. The path to sustainable maritime and aviation fuels has not been determined yet. But we approach this work with commitment and urgency. This transition is challenging and resource intensive, and it's personal. It is important for the quality of life in our community. Our sustainable agenda is part of our equity agenda. That is why we created an environmental justice position at the port in 2023 and are defining an environmental justice framework to guide our future work as well. In closing, what stands out for me this year, as you heard in the opening video, is that the port in the region is at the beginning of a new chapter, a new post-pandemic chapter. Reflecting on the last few years, we've come through a crisis that required many of us to focus on day-to-day efforts and just not looking up from where we were, just looking ahead of us and just trying to get through the next day. And now we're far beyond that. Now we need to focus on investments in capital and programs to build a vision of the future. It is our job to look ahead, to adapt and lead, to position you and your port for tomorrow's opportunities with an approach that reflects the unique values of this very special region. That is what makes the state of your port strong and enduring. Thank you. So now it is my privilege as the executive director to work daily with your elected representatives on the commission. Each commissioner brings to the port values of the community they represent, as well as incredibly rich lived and professional experience. The diversity and experience of our commission is one of the greatest strengths of the port. Last year, Commissioner Sam Cho, as commission president, guided one of the most successful years in the port's history. I give him great credit for his strong leadership in helping the port reinvigorate its relationships with customers, partners around the world, and everyone we work with. So I thank you, Commissioner Cho, for giving it your all. So it's my pleasure to introduce Commissioner Sam Cho.